cat-cow, whichever way that feels comfortable for you to come off either your props and head back onto all fours onto your mat. Hands will sit directly underneath our shoulders and our knees will be here underneath our hips. Cats on your exhale, so it'll go chin to chest and we'll round to the back. And it's on the inhale that we send that movement in the other direction. Perfect, in your own time. And this doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. You might find that you want to sort of tip forward a little bit, or on your cat you want to round back a little bit, or that you want to maybe, you know, sway here, even side to side. Again, check in on your body and see what it wants you to do. Okay, cat-cow is really to move the spine. Okay, it's to flex and it's to extend the spine, and it doesn't have to be, as we might always think, that textbook version. Okay, so it's an awakening, really. It's an articulation of the spine, and it's an awakening of the spine. Spine's a powerful conduit for obviously our nervous system, so it is very, very important to keep the spine in good condition, well looked after, like you would look after, I mentioned yesterday how we would look after our car. You know, we need to service it. If we expect it to get us from A to B, then we need to also think of that same aspect when we look about and we talk about our bodies. Okay. From cat-cow, or any of your little creative versions of that, and if we've got the kids on board here, I'm sure they've found some very creative ways of doing this movement. Let's go with a bit of work into the cauldron, into the belly. And I'm going to start us off by very subtly lifting the left hand. Okay, so you might come up onto the tips of your fingers first, little mangrove fingers, and you might even be able to go to this hands off. Now, any of my Pilates people will know that this is core work, and we're very much about watching what happens incorrectly. E.g., I start to take my right hand off and I decide that I'm going to lean over it onto my left hand side to compensate. So let's see how still we can make the trunk with this action. In fact, it is a Pilates movement. We call it paws because these are like little cat's paws. They're lifting up and lifting down. But the idea here is to engage that belly just like you would for plank. Okay, same idea. Navel pulling into the spine, not loading down into the opposite hand, but just starting to fire up the belly a little bit more. So opposite hand. Now what we want to start to maybe introduce, if we then feel comfortable, is what we then know as that opposite arm and the opposite leg. If that feels like you can take it that little bit further, rather than taking hands straight up, let's go with the right hand and release it out in front. Good. And we'll bring the right hand back on and we'll do the left. Okay, so you'll notice it's slightly different as we extend the arm out, as opposed to just very subtly lifting the arm like a paw off the mat. We'll do one more on the left side, and that's when we'll start to add in, when we go back to our right side, can we add an arm and a leg now? You know this one, opposite arm and leg. Okay, opposite arm and leg. Knees stacking directly underneath the hips. Hands staying directly underneath our shoulders. Good. Let's go one more on each leg. So one more with that right arm, left leg. Right arm, left leg. And when we get back to the right arm and the left leg, we're going to take a heel to bottom. Can we balance a little bit more and connect into this heel to bottom action? Do we need to perhaps drop it to the floor? Start off with where it feels comfortable here. Hold the heel into the bottom. Try not to load down through our hand, our left hand. Lift out of that left armpit and stay strong and balanced here. Good. Extend the arm and the leg back out long. This time, can we pull the elbow into the knee? Okay. And really start to challenge this core a little bit more. Now, again, don't worry if you can't. For example, we could just do the elbow to the knee, okay, and leave the knee on the floor. So we just find where our boundaries are and know what our own personal limitations will be and work with them. Good. That's our last one. Get ready to change to the other side. So we would have left arm and the right leg working here for us. Left arm, right leg. That's our start of our balance. Now let's say I can't have that leg out the back. I might just tap it towards the floor, and that's perfectly okay. Try the heel in the bottom again, so heel comes around. We take it with, it is the opposite hand holding the opposite leg. This thigh out the back, my right thigh is trying to sit about parallel to the floor, so I can really feel that quadricep stretching here. Really getting that warmth into it for some of our leg work that we will do. Now we'll extend them back out long again, and this is where we pull the elbow on a diagonal in towards the knee. So starting to warm and activate the obliques now. Opposite arm, pulling in to the knee. Good. Opposite arm, pulling into the knee. Nice. Can we get another 2 out? Let's see how we go. Remember your modifications. Beautiful. And when we finish that very last one, both hands rest back onto the floor and start to bring yourself very slowly for me here up into this kneeling position. Okay. We're going to tuck the toes under and take the the left arm up towards the ceiling and bring it out the back and look at it. It's like going to make a big circle. And then the right arm goes up, out, around in a big circle, and it comes back. Now some people might need some padding underneath those knees, that's okay. Go and grab something extra or roll your mat up even. So these are big circles. It's almost like you're doing backstroke, yeah? So you're like you're swimming and you're doing a backstroke action. Go up and over. But if we can, maybe that next one takes us into a half camel. It comes across and it touches this heel. Take the other arm upwards towards the ceiling. Good. Windmill the arms. Try the same on the other side. Arm comes up, over, around. Can we catch the heel? Can we extend the arm up and back? You can look either down here at this heel or up here towards the left arm that's up there in the ceiling. Good. As we lift up, keep reaching back with the other arm. So it's literally like you are doing that backstroke movement. Good. Arm comes up and over. Good. Change sides up and over. Good. Let's go one more. Up and over. Inhale, coming all the way back up. Let's step through on the right leg. It comes into a nice low lunge, like a low crescent lunge. Here we can either have our fingers on the floor. If we need a little bit of support, we might even bring those blocks in. Okay, so it's a kneeling low crescent lunge. Take the same hand as the leg, that right hand rested onto the knee. And extend the left arm upwards towards the ceiling now. Breathe out, tip it over to your right hand side. Feel the side stretch all the way down that left hand side. Breathe in, extend the left arm back to the ceiling. Add the right arm. Extend back for me now. This little tipping back action. Good. Breathe out to bring the hands back down towards the mat for me from here. And then just hinge back. Now we know this is, it's called Hanuman, but it's like it's basically like a little mini hamstring stretch. Definitely have the toes pulling back, either fingertips as little mangroves or onto your blocks. Draw this right hip back, okay, back towards the back end of your mat here. Good. And then inhale, come back up. trunk becomes straight. Now we're going to spin on this left knee here, and that leg will extend out, your right leg will extend out towards the side. Take the same arm as the leg, tip it down towards it, extend the left arm over into the ear and open up through this chest. Good. Release it the other way, hand goes down to the floor like a side plank. Extend now the right arm up towards the ceiling, lifting our left side away from the floor, so my left belly and my left side ribs are pulling away from the floor here. Tuck this top arm under, thread it underneath, and then open back up as you inhale. So thread and tuck on your exhale, and then open up as you inhale. Good, thread and tuck. Inhale and open. Good, and again thread. And inhale to open. This right hand is going to head down towards the floor. Reposition your hands so that they are shoulder width apart. Can we spin and pivot and head ourselves back into a down facing dog? You can be assured that you are right if you are facing the completely opposite way to how you were before. You're right, you got it. Okay, so you might want to walk the heels